Hey yo, what's up boys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be watching one of these dumb animated story time fake videos that I found online. I will be doing a couple of these for like 3 days, 3 uploads straight. Tell me if you like them, if you want me to continue them maybe once a week or something. Or if you completely hate them, but this one is called My Psycho Parents. By the way, make sure to hit the like button or you're gonna find out that your parents are psychopaths. Okay, let's get right into the video.
Growing up, my parents did always act a little strange. They weren't like your normal parents. Sometimes they were nice and fun. Other times, they would yell at me and ground me for days on end.
No way, dude. Your parents would be nice to you for some time and then get mad at you and ground you for a couple days? Dude, your life is so hard. Next time, next, you're gonna tell me that they took away your phone. Oh my gosh. Or wouldn't let you talk to your friends for like a week because you were grounded, dude. Insane.
Other times, they saw things like hallucinations. They'd talk to thin air as if someone was standing there. Sometimes they would be in the living room watching TV, and as I walked in, they would stare at me like they had no idea who I was. Pretty weird, right?
You know, at first I was making fun of you, but yeah, that's a little weird when they're just talking to thin air and don't know who their own son is, you know? I mean, if that happened to me, I'd be a little freaked out too. I mean, I go to get some chocolate milk out of the fridge and my mom's like, "Yo, who the are you, dude?"
But before I go on, please make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. And hit that notification bell if you want more creepy, exciting stories like this.
Yeah, guys, do the exact same for this video. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more commentary videos, guys. Yeah, just a shameless plug there. Let's actually continue this video now.
Sometimes they saw things that scared them, like when we were at the zoo. We were watching the monkeys as they moved about in their home, and my parents came running to me, telling me we had to leave now. They said the monkeys had escaped from their cage. We had to get out. But as they dragged me away, I looked back at the monkeys and realized everything was perfectly normal. My parents had just been delusional. And then there was the time at the birthday party. It was my closest friend, and he had invited me to his party. We were already around 10 years old, but this was the first time I had ever been to a birthday party. I begged my parents to let me go, and they must have been in a good mood because they agreed. I was so shocked and excited. I was ready to have the best day ever. We drove up to the house, knocked on the door, and my friend opened it. I handed him his present, and we went off to play in his backyard while the parents chatted to each other. I gasped in wonder as we entered the backyard. There were tables piled with cakes and snacks and soft drinks, and another table where my friend had all of his presents piled high. There was a jumping castle and a trampoline, and my friend told me there was a piñata that we would play with later on. I was so excited. I knew this was going to be so much fun. We started playing hide and seek with the other kids. I'd barely been there an hour when my parents suddenly appeared. They had a wild look on their face and were staring fearfully around. My mom was looking at the trampoline as if it was a monster. My dad was staring at the ground as if it were made of lava.
Okay, I let the video play out a little bit, but I'm just gonna recap a little bit of what just happened. They went to the zoo. The monkeys didn't escape the cage, but they were hallucinating and thought they did. And now they're at this birthday party and they're looking at the trampoline and floor like it's on fire and a eating human monster. I mean, not very Cash Money. It's on psychopath type beat, I gotta say.
They looked at me and I walked dutifully over to them. "Nathan, we have to go," said Mom. "But why? I just got here," I whined. "Don't argue. We're leaving," said Dad. I stomped my foot. "But why?" I demanded. My mom leaned in, whispering in my ear. Can't you see it? The ground is moving. If we don't leave now, it'll swallow us up. I stared at them in confusion. I looked at the ground. It looked pretty normal to me, but I trusted my parents, so I followed them back. We got in the car and drove home.
You know, if I was 10 and my mom said that the floor was moving and it was gonna eat me, I'd probably get out of there so quick. Or I'd just be like, am I insane or are you, Mom? Because, like, the floor's not moving.
The next day, my friend asked me at school why I had left so suddenly. I told him my parents had said the ground was going to eat us. My friend was offended and didn't speak to me for the rest of the school year. Now I realized that my parents' behavior wasn't normal. Far from it. Of course, I hadn't thought that when I was younger. I was used to it, since I had grown up my whole life that way. Sometimes my parents were confused. Sometimes they acted strange. Sometimes they found it hard to talk properly. But I still loved them. They were still kind and caring, just a little different to your average parents. We also moved around a lot. I rarely stayed at the same school for more than a year. I didn't have many friends. I guess I had a pretty lonely life. But then, one day at school, a woman came to class to give a presentation on mental health. As she walked into the classroom, I remember thinking she was very pretty, with her long brown hair and green eyes. And I also remember thinking that she had the same brown hair and green eyes as me. But I didn't bother thinking about it too long because the woman had begun her presentation.
Bruh, I swear, if he starts hitting on this girl, I'm gonna cry. I mean, she looks like she could be his mom or something, like.
She introduced herself as Miss Johnson, but you can call me Sarah. She talked about all different kinds of disorders like depression or anxiety, and then she mentioned schizophrenia. She explained all of its symptoms, like how people might act, the things they might do, and I thought to myself, that sounds like my parents. They hallucinate a lot. They behave differently. They have a lot of mood swings. But, of course, they couldn't be schizophrenic. That's just how they acted. They didn't have a mental illness, right? But then I started to do some research, and I found it sounded exactly like them. This couldn't be a coincidence. All my life, I had thought that was just how they behaved. I never considered they might be mentally ill. I decided I had to go see a professional about this. I found Sarah's phone number and called her. It wasn't long before she picked up. "Hello, who is this?" she asked. I cleared my throat. It's Nathan, a student from the class you presented to." "Oh, hi Nathan, how can I help?" "Well, it's my parents." I explained to her all about it, about how I suspected my parents might be schizophrenic after I heard her presentation. I thought it was best if I made sure and sought professional help. She said it was the right thing to do, but she would have to meet them first before she made any diagnosis. We organized for her to come tomorrow to meet them and conduct a session. I was really nervous. I was scared my parents might get mad at me for going behind their back. But I knew it was for the best. This was for their own good. It was important that they get help if they needed it. When Sarah arrived, she knocked on the door and my parents looked at each other with confusion. "Who could that be?" asked my mom. They went to open the door, and as the door swung open and Sarah appeared, my parents seemed to freeze. I saw all the color drain out of their faces. Sarah also looked shocked and stared at my parents as if she knew them. My parents seemed to recognize her as well. Then Sarah started yelling at them, and she looked at me and gasped. Understanding dawned on her face. "Oh my God," said Sarah, "my son."
Hold up, what? This is like the biggest plot twist on earth, dude. Literally, the girl who was presenting, who I said looked like she could be his mom, is literally his mom. And his schizophrenic, quote-unquote, parents, are literally kidnapped him. Like, bro, biggest plot twist in the world. Like, what?
Wait, hold up. Did she just call me her son? I was so confused. What was going on? But then, suddenly, my parents slammed the door on her and grabbed me and ran to the back of the house. They threw me in the car, and without another word, we started driving at insane speeds, far away from our home. We drove for hours and hours, until eventually we stopped at a motel. I was still so shocked by the sudden turn of events. I didn't even know what to think, but I followed my parents inside. My parents were all nervous and fidgety, and seemed to be scared. That's when I told them what I had done, how I had asked Sarah to come, as she was a specialist, and how I had suspected that they were schizophrenic. "Nathan, how could you do this to us?" my dad screamed at me. But then, just as quickly, his mood switched, and suddenly he was all kind and consoling. "You're right," he said sadly. I was too shocked to respond. "We haven't been completely honest with you," said Mom. "You see," my dad took a deep breath, "we are schizophrenic." "So it's true?" I whispered. They nodded. "And one other thing," my mom admitted. She paused. "We escaped from an insane asylum."
Hold on. So I'll get to the escaping of the asylum later. But did they literally re-kidnapped him when his real mom finds out where they are? I mean, if I was her, I'd follow them because I'd want my kid back. But that's just me. Um, and they're mad at him for worrying about his parent. And okay, so we got confirmation they're schizophrenic, which is good. But they escaped from a fucking insane asylum. Like, what? I mean, just imagine your parents being escapees from an asylum, and how did they not get caught yet? I mean, this is how you know this stuff is fake when their parents are asylum escapers, like literally mental institution escapers. Like they literally escaped from a mental institution. I just want to know where this kid comes into play.
My mouth fell open in surprise. I did not expect that. I was shocked, but it all made sense. That's why they acted strangely. That's why we moved so often. That's why we never made many friends. "Okay," I said, "but what about Sarah? Why had she called me her son?" Then they got angry again, and I didn't know what to do, so I just bolted from the motel room. I had no clue where I was. We'd left the house so quickly, I hadn't had time to pick up my phone, so I just stumbled out onto the street and tried to find someone to help me. I spotted a police car in the distance, heading my way, so I ran forward and tried to wave it down. Thankfully, the policeman stopped and asked me what was wrong. I explained to him all about what had happened, and he seemed confused, but told me he would take me to the police station where I would be safe.
Yo, his parents just raged at him because he asked them a question about his real parents. He doesn't even know that he's her mom or whatever. Who knows? Maybe she's not. Who knows? But thank God for this policeman who is driving a Mercedes Benz. I mean, gosh, it's the best.
I felt so bad for ratting on my parents, but I knew it was for their own good. When I was at the police station, the policeman told me they had found my parents. They were now in detainment and would soon be returned to the asylum they had escaped from. I was devastated. In just a few hours, my entire life had been taken away from me. Where would I go? Where would I live? How would I survive? As all these scary thoughts raced through my head, the policeman told me I had a surprise visitor. As I stepped into a separate room, I was shocked to see Sarah there. "How did you find me?" I asked. "When your parents drove off, I followed them," she said.
Bro, what did I say? If it was my kid, I'd do the same thing. Follow them. Bro, I swear they read my mind, and I already had this video downloaded. Anyways, let's continue on the video. I just wanted to add that little smart little fact that I am just a mind reader.
I had so many questions, but I didn't know how to start. Sarah spoke first. "Look, I think I owe you the truth. Your parents are schizophrenic. And around 10 years ago, they escaped from an insane asylum." I already knew this, but still, the information was startling. "I used to work at the same asylum," continued Sarah. "I was an assisting nurse, and I used to help the patients eat and sleep. But one day, I had to bring my son to work with me, as the daycare was closed for the day and I was a single mom." She took a shaky breath. "I regretted that decision for the rest of my life. On that same day, your parents escaped from the asylum. As they were heading out, they spotted my son and kidnapped him. I had searched for him for years, and I had thought I would never see him again. Until right now. I stared at her. So, you mean... She nodded. I'm your real mom.
Bro, what did I be telling you? Nah. What did I tell you since the beginning when we first met her? Looked like his mom. He is mom, mom, and now we're knowing it's her mom. Also, bro, they really out here kidnapping a kid that they thought was cute that the assistant owner had to bring because she was a single mom struggling, working at an insane asylum. And when they were escaping, they just decided, swoop up this baby.
I had to take a seat. This was too much to handle in one go. I had just found out my parents were escapees from an insane asylum. And now they weren't even my real parents. I'd been kidnapped. Sarah obviously saw my shock, and she was quick to console me. She told me she was so happy now that she'd found me, and she wanted to live with me and be her mom again. I was still apprehensive, but I guess it was better than living with two schizophrenic kidnappers. I told her I would like to live with her. 5 years later, I'm still living with my real mom, and it's so nice. She's so kind to me, and I think we're really bonding. At first, I thought it would be awkward, but it wasn't at all. Sarah immediately made me feel at home, and I think I'm starting to feel like her son again. I still visit my parents in their asylum sometimes. It's so strange seeing them there, but I know it's what's best for them. Here, they can live peacefully without posing as a danger to others. When I visit, sometimes they act normal, and I start to think they're ready to get back into the outside world. But then other times, they're angry and are always yelling at me. It's very confusing, and I know it's only a symptom of the mental illness, but still, it's hard. It's hard, but I'll always love them.
Yay, happy fake ending story. So yeah, pretty much the guys who kidnapped him weren't his real parents. Wow, big shocker. They're back in the insane asylum. He's living with his real mom now. And he still hangs out with those schizophrenic kidnappers. Easy dub, easy win. Fun for the whole family. Once upon a time, happily ever after. That's the end of the video. I'll see you in the next one. Make sure to like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Dislike the video if you really fucking hated the video. But don't. That was a joke. Bye-bye. By the way, guys, I won't be uploading on Monday because I won't be at my computer. Okay, bye-bye.
2 to the 1, from the 1 to the 3. I like good pussy and I like good trees. Smoke so much weed you wouldn't believe, and I get more ass than